So yeah, in the last class we were discussing price ceiling and price floor. So price floor we studied, it is a minimum supporting price. We know what when it is controversial now. So that is price floor. It is a minimum price allowed by law. Okay. So it helps the sellers and it creates a surplus. Whereas price ceiling, okay, it is the least price that a seller would get for the product and that is price floor, and price ceiling, it is the maximum price. So price floor is the least price and price ceiling is a maximum price beyond which a seller can't sell. Okay, beyond which a seller cannot sell. So the primary objective here is to protect the buyers. So it creates a shortage actually. So when we say yeah, so in major big cities, in Delhi itself we can say the demand for a rented building increases because there are no hostels. So its price also get increases because there is more demand. So the authorities come up with rent control laws that set a price ceiling. Then more people will be able to afford. More students in case of Delhi will be able to afford an apartment and survive here. So that is what price ceiling means. Ceiling the price. Beyond that the price must not go. So here, those two were some concepts. Now we can move to the 4.5. So here we are discussing a situation where when the government tries to determine the price of gasoline. The analysis concludes that competitive markets will end up at the competitive equilibrium. That is the point where the supply and demand curve cross. Okay. Some markets have prices that are set by laws, regulations or social norms. Okay. So let's see in these situations what happened. So for an example you can read out this. I'll just brief this thing what this paragraph says. So there was a time, that is during the US oil crisis in 1973-74, the US government effectively capped the price of gasoline, causing quantity demanded to exceed the quantity supplied. So this led to many problems. Even there were fighting amongst the people with the warning of that I'll kill you. People turned really sick. Their minds turned really sick for getting this oil. I mean gasoline, because the prices were really less. So the supply was also, the demand exceeded the supply here. So there were many people for a particular quantity of oil and there were many queues in front of the stations. So there were fights with people. Like in the New York Times, the reporter wrote at that time, like every line seemed to be the order of the day. It was that big queues. There were people who rented another car or ordered another car and will receive it complete with a full tank of gas, and he'll use that tank of gas because it was so less in price and the demand was more. Okay. There were many weird things like that happened. There were fighting in the streets and one customer pulled a knife on another one. So much things happened like this. The stations got closed with the gases very fastly. 20% of stations ran out of fuel during this peak of crisis. Okay. So here, from this we can get that economic history is filled with stories of governments that try to fix the price of goods instead of letting the market generate an equilibrium price. Price controls often do not work out well and government keep forgetting this lesson. Okay. So that is all about the fourth chapter. Now you can read out the summary, the key terms which you can expect for the exam, then the questions, back questions, and the choice and consequence parts, boxes of each chapter. If we are having time, we'll discuss all these in the last, at the last after we complete all the chapters. So that's it. Happy learning.